welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Sherry Kinnison, who is here on behalf of Breastlink. Well, Sherry, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, allowing me to testify.
Well, we're testifying because Breastlink has been a very important part of your life and your ongoing journey with breast cancer. So I would love for you to tell us your story. But first, just tell me a little bit about yourself.
You know, the arts has always been part of my life. We had a theater for 30 years, and musical theater was always the fun job that I got to live, and it was just wonderful. Mm-hmm. And just before the pandemic, we sold our business, thank God. And so that really, it's kind of retirement, but yet now I still focus. And with the pandemic, we've done most of our help with women, newly diagnosed patients, over the phone. Oh. So luckily, we could still communicate with them, but nothing like sitting in the chair next to them and holding their hand.
Right.
And so Breastlink will always be part of my life, part of my give back. I'm a 16-year survivor, hallelujah. And I went there on the recommendation of my doctor, who knew Dr. West, and at that time. And so, oh my gosh, I'm so thankful, because I did have a first diagnosis and it was not good. And I walked out of there and said, I'm not coming back. And the next day, Dr. West called me and said, good morning, let's talk about this. And, I was not ready to talk about this a day later. Right. But I went in at 7:30 that evening. He did a biopsy, and the rest is history. And that was in 2004. Mm-hmm. I did neoadjuvant, which is preoperative chemo.
Okay.
And then April 27th of 2005, I did a mastectomy. And I was on Arimidex for 3 years, and then I think tamoxifen for the last 2. And so thank God for and Dr. Link was my oncologist at Breastlink. Yep. And he is just a wealth of knowledge. And that's the biggest thing about helping a newly diagnosed patient, is saying, you know what, know your team, become educated, get to know your doctors, and know that they are working with you. And that's the thing about Breastlink. It was a team, and you had your oncologist, you had your surgeon, you had your radiologist. It just was, it brought calm to a fearful person. And because the first thing you feel is fear. Mm-hmm. And it is unbelievable.
Right. Well, you're describing a group of people that serve as a family, right? They serve as an extended family, because not always did you have your family with you when you had to go for treatment.
No, you don't. Luckily, and I have to tell you, I had 2 brothers. I didn't have sisters, and I always wanted a sister. You become a sisterhood like no other. It comes to the cancer diagnosis, and then all of these women that surround you, and they become your friends, they become your sisters. And it's just, to this day, I've made some of the best friends that I still have in my life because of that. And they're able to help you and get you through. And that's the thing, I know the fear that I had, and I know that I can help that next patient that's newly diagnosed. If I could do it, you can do it. And, she looks at me with hope. Mm-hmm. She looks at me with survival, and she knows that, wow, 16 years is a long time. And now newly diagnosed patients, if they catch it in time, it's almost 100% survival rate.
Yeah, the technology is really, it's changed since you were diagnosed, for sure. And it's changing all the time. And that's a good thing, because then many people don't have to go through some of the things that were happening to people before. So that is a great thing. So you mentioned that you were on a particular medication for the last 2 years. Is that the only thing that you've been having to take? or are you on
I
anything?
don't take anything now. I'm free of it. Usually the doctors will put you on it for 5 years.
Oh, okay.
And now some women will take it 10. Dr. West, one of his first patients who was a hand holder to me, Jenny, she took it for 20 years. She wouldn't go off of it. So it
Oh,
didn't do anything to her, but you know what? She wanted to take it. It gave her a comfort and
right,
she did. But
right.
no, I don't. I'm on nothing. And
Okay.
but you know,
Are you back doing everything that you love to do? I know you mentioned off camera that you have grandchildren that you're
I
visiting, so you're able to see
do,
them.
every day I can get up and say, I'm still standing and I have a happy dance. And I'm here with my grandbabies. I have a 9-year-old granddaughter and a 3-year-old grandson. And oh my gosh, and just being with my daughter, she's an only child.
Okay.
Watching them grow is just something that wasn't possible for a lot of women in the past. But
Right.
with new technology and new medications and new things. I mean, years ago, 20 years ago, it was a death sentence for women.
Yeah.
Um, and it's a journey. It's a journey out of your life. It's going to take a year of your life. I can tell you that. And when we go in with the doctor and diagnose the new patient, you know what? You're honest with them, and that's the thing. They look at me and they know that I'm going to be honest,
Right.
but they also look at me and know that, you know what, I can survive and I can get through this.
Yeah.
It is a journey, but
Right.
we're still standing and we're alive, and that's the biggest part of it. Is
Yeah.
that we can preach to the highest heaven. There is hope.
And obviously you're a testament to that because you have had the 16-year journey to where you are today, which is an awesome outcome, right? I mean, these are
Yes.
the kinds of stories that you can share with those folks who, upon being diagnosed, are probably, like you said, so fearful and afraid of dying and what's going to happen to their children and what's going to happen to their family. So having a kind of a blueprint for them to show them just how successful they can be must be so kind of encouraging.
It is really encouraging. And every year, you look at that first year that you've got through the first year, and then they tell you, you know what, you have a 5-year window. You get through that first 5 years, because in that first 5 years, they're still doing your CT scans and your PET
Mm,
scans and your mammograms, and we still do mammograms.
right.
And now, early diagnosis is the best medicine that you can do. And I tell young women, please, if you start at 35, you get a base for what they need to look for, and then when you're 40 and when you're 45, and it's just early detection. Be your own advocate
Right.
of breast cancer and any kind of cancer, but you have to be your own advocate.
Right, right. Now, of course, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And with that said, what are some tips that you would like to? I mean, you just gave one about the mammograms and getting early, but what are some other things that you would like people to be aware of during this time?
You know, Early detection, be around positive people, is that's just a must. We are doing a grit cycle, and grit cycle there in Newport Beach. I think there's 3 different, Monarch Beach, Newport Beach, and they are going to donate to a pinkjourneyfoundation.org, which is a breast cancer foundation.
Okay.
And if you want to, join the grit cycle, please do. A lot of people put their wares out there to sell for the month of October, and a lot of them don't donate.
Ah,
Um, Part of the money, they'll tell you they are, but they aren't. So just be aware of where you put your money, where you donate for the month of October. It's for us, it's an everyday journey. It's not just the month of October, but the month of October does bring awareness. It gets people out, and it gets women out there, and they start thinking, and be around your friends, and just be aware of what you do in the month of October, and try to give as much as you can, and do your runs. Get out there and be part of, join those 5Ks or 10Ks, whatever they're doing, and look up the grit cycle on peakjourney.org. exercise we know, and diet we know, it
Mhm,
works.
mhm,
Um,
mhm.
so just be aware.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. Good luck to you and congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm just, doing a happy dance every day.
Well, you go enjoy those grandbabies of yours.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. And we'll be right back after this.